think many of us had this moment where you're in the shower and then this amazing idea for a new startup hits you. You think about the design, the features, the name, you already see it getting millions of users and you being consecrated as the next Elon Musk. And the reality is that in 99% of cases, you're just gonna fail. And this is because the reason why most startups and products fail is that they have spent years and tons of cash to build something that people just don't want. And so in this video, I'll help you take your product and startup idea and validate it, transforming it into something that is actually worth building. And actually, this is part of my day job. I work as a product manager at a tech startup, and my job is to figure out what the team should build and why. And make sure to stick around, because if you plan to validate your idea by asking people, would you use this? Then you're making the worst mistake in the book. So getting started, your idea will most likely be a solution. You probably thought about this app or this website, and you thought about the design, the layout, the features. You thought about your solution. Well, actually, what you want to do is to take a step back and think about the problem. What is the problem that you are trying to solve? So let's make an example. We all try to solve our own problems. So I'm a creator, and one of the problems that I have right now is that I want to network and meet creators of similar size and similar niche to mine. So my idea would be to build a Tinder-style app where I can match with different creators. We can have a chat, get coffee, and share ideas, and maybe collaborate on some videos. Very cool. And meeting different creators in this case is not the problem. I have to dig deeper. A problem can be not having anyone to get feedback on my videos when they're about to get published. The problem can be creating a community that supports you and doesn't make you feel lonely when you're working on your content. So these are some problems that I might want to solve with my idea. Cool. Now, the second thing you want to think about is who's your audience? Who are the people that you're trying to solve this problem for? Now, you might end up in two scenarios here. One is that you have a problem that is not very severe, but that millions or billions of people have. Think of Netflix. The problem of entertainment and being entertained, it's an important problem, but it's not so severe. I can go ahead with being bored for a while, but billions of people have this problem. On the other hand, I may be a rockets engineer and I'm spending 10 hours a day doing complex calculations that only a handful of people in the world need to do, but that they're spending 10 hours, 20 hours a week doing. For them, this is a very, very time-consuming process, and it's a very severe problem, but for a very narrow set of people. Now, if you end up in this category right here, your chances of success are gonna be almost zero. So the first thing you wanna do is ask yourself, who are the people that have this problem in the most severe form? So coming back to my example, instead of saying just creators, I can narrow down my audience to, let's say, YouTubers from 2,000 to 10,000 subscribers that are uploading regularly. And many may say, yeah, but Facebook or Amazon are reaching billions, are solving problems for billions of people. Yes, but if you look at how they started very, very small. Facebook solved the problem of connecting with fellow students in universities at the beginning. Amazon started by selling books. They were very popular with selling very obscure and rare books to find, which you might not find in bookstores or libraries. Now, the next thing you want to do is validate your problem and audience. What many people do is they launch into a new startup and they think that the real risk is, oh, I might get the design wrong, or the marketing might not be in the right channel, or I might get these technical choices wrong and the app is not fast enough. But actually, the worst thing that can happen is spending years and years and potentially hundreds of thousands of dollars to build something that nobody wants. So starting a startup or a product is the same thing as trying to win at those claw machines that you find in arcades. You can try 100,000 times and yeah, sooner or later you will get your prize. But how can you actually increase your chances of winning? Well, one route is to just know what is the right item to pick up so that it doesn't slip from your claw. And in the product building world, this translates to validating the problem. So how can you validate your problem? The first instinct that many people have is ask people around them. What do you think? Is this gonna succeed? Do you think it's a good idea? Do you think it's a good problem to solve? Well, this is the worst mistake you can make. If you ask people around you, your friends, your family, they're gonna say, yeah, it's a great idea, you should pursue it, but they're actually hurting you. The only people that you really care about is the audience that you found in the step before. You need to talk and spend as much time with this audience as possible. If they are YouTubers, go into YouTube subreddits, YouTube communities, YouTube meetups, go where these people hang out. see what they talk about, see what they think. And practically one of the best way to do this is interviews. Just speak to the people you want to build for. And in many cases, the interview would go like this. You meet this person and you show him the prototype. You show him, hey, it's going to look like this. It's going to have this functionality. It's going to allow you to do this many things. You're going to spend 15 minutes talking about that. And then you're going to ask them, would you use it? Or do you like it? Would you pay for it? And basically here you're making every single mistake in the book. Because the 3 big mistakes that you don't want to do in your interview is, first of all, talk about the idea. You want to talk about them. You want to talk about their problems, their lives, and maybe at the end, the first 2 or 5 minutes, you show them the idea or the prototype, but your goal should be to learn about their lives and their problems. The second big mistake is talk about generic opinions about the future instead of talking about their past and tell them about real experiences. Instead of saying, do you have the problem X, Y, and Z? Go ahead and ask, walk me through the last time that you did X, Y, and Z. Walk me through your workflow. What do you do in your day-to-day? Because if people have problems in their daily lives, rest assured, they're gonna tell you. The third issue is just to let people speak. You don't want people to tell you what you want to hear. You want to hear them tell the truth. Other than interviews, there are many other ways that you can use to validate a problem. But here are some cool hacks that you can use. The first one is called a fake door test. And this is where you build the website, the landing page for your app, service, startup, whatever, but you actually don't build the thing. You don't build the product. And you just see how many people sign up. How many people are willing to give you money? Another one is the Wizard of Oz test. And in this case, you're building the front-end part, so the face of your website or product, but you're actually doing all the work manually. You don't go ahead and build all the infrastructure, all the backend, all the real app. So let's say that I'm building my idea of Tinder for creators here. And a Wizard of Oz test would be creating a landing page and having people sign up for the service, but then doing all the work manually, matching the creators manually, but you're getting a sense if people are using it, if people are starting to sign up, if people are starting to take the action that you want them to. And coming back to the claw machine example, the last point I want to give you is to reduce your investment. Reduce how much money it takes for you to play the game. Maybe you think, hey, I will need designers, developers, I will need to make an app for iOS, Android. You probably don't need all of that. To solve the problem that you're setting out to solve in its most basic form, maybe what's needed is just a few lines of code, a simple web app. And nowadays you can do so many things with what is called no-code. Technologies and apps and websites that allow you to build things without ever writing a single line of code. Things like Google Sheets, Airtable, Typeform, Babel, Zapier, different APIs. You can use these things which require little to no coding knowledge to build the first version, to show that the problem you're trying to solve is worth solving. And minimizing the investment it takes also allows you to just straight out skip the problem validation. If instead of building something in a year, you can build it in a weekend, then it's not a big investment. You can just build it, launch it, and see if people start to use it. You don't need to do any fancy interviews. And you can build one of these startups every week, which is basically getting more tickets to the claw machine. So the next time you're in the shower thinking about startup ideas, think about this video. But yeah, don't be a pervert. And if you're craving for more, here's another video that you might enjoy.